Oh my gosh, that's like one of the prettiest eyeshadows Colourpop has ever made. I'm not joking. Like the dimension in this and the texture. Oh my. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be playing with a new collection from Colourpop that I got tagged in so many times as they were previewing it on Instagram and throughout the launch. I was out of town, so this collection has already launched, so it's not really like a review before you go out and purchase it, as much as it might just be like a tutorial using it. But this is the new Mauve collection from Colourpop. We have an eyeshadow palette, we have 2 pressed blushes, we have 2 Super Shock shadows, and 2 Luxe lip glosses. You guys know me so well because I feel like you guys know the tones that I gravitate toward, and so many of you guys wanted me to review this collection. So I'm hoping that you guys either are interested in this video or maybe you picked up some of these things and you can kind of follow along with the tutorial. So let's just get right into it. I'm going to be using the NARS Tinted Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base, and I'm going to take the shade Light. I'm honestly so excited about this collection, you guys. I already feel like I'm going to like it. I'm just going to blend that out with a Real Techniques brush. So it might not be really an in-depth review as much as more of a tutorial. We will see. I love so many of Colourpop's products, but this collection, as far as the tones and even the packaging goes, really speaks to me, so I'm super excited about it. Okay, we're going to start off by using the Making Mauves. I hear people pronounce this 2 different ways, mauve, mauve, to each their own. I honestly say mauve more than mauve, but I feel like it makes more sense to say Making Mauves when it comes to the title of this. Anyway, this is a 9-pan palette. Here's the packaging. I love how there's like a little bit of a glossy texture on this to kind of bring dimension to it. It's a really pretty purple packaging on the front, and then inside we have these 9 shades right here. These are so pretty. It's definitely more cool toned, but I think that's fun for Colourpop, and it's also all the tones that I love so much. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's see, I'm gonna start off by taking this shade right here. This is called Big Moves. I'm gonna tap off the extra, and I'm gonna start to buff this in the crease a little bit. And then once there's less on the brush, I'm gonna bring it up toward the brow. Ooh, okay, so this comes off more pastel on me than I was expecting, but I really like it. So I'm just gonna continue to buff this out. How are you guys doing? I hope that you're all doing good, and I hope that you're all staying safe. I know that everything is kind of crazy worldwide right now, and I'm not gonna dwell on this too much just because I really feel like YouTube for me is a space to kind of escape from, you know, the things going around in the world. But I do hope that you guys are all doing well and that you're all staying safe. Things have been a little bit crazy, and it's easy to sometimes get overwhelmed and even anxious about everything that's going on. But I came across something, I think it was actually on Instagram, of somebody saying that the perfect antidote to fear is actually gratitude. And so even though there's a lot going on, and I think it is good to be aware of it and, you know, to just be prepared in any way that you can, I personally am also trying to avoid too much anxiety and stress around the whole thing. So gratitude is really helping me these days. So I thought I would share that with you guys just in case you might be feeling a similar way. Maybe you can just stop and pause the video and think of like 3 things you're grateful for, and maybe that will help you guys. But anyway, let's get back to eyeshadow. I'm gonna take this shade right here. I'm just using the same brush. This is called Big Fig, and I'm just gonna pack this kind of on the outer edge of the eye. And then once there's less product on the brush, I'm kind of using it to define this outer V here. I'm just gonna take what's left and brush it into the crease just to intensify that a little bit more. So these colors are coming across more vibrant than what I thought just by looking in the pan. It's all blending out so beautifully on the eyes. I'm just pointing that out just because I like to kind of tell you guys what I'm noticing as I'm using these. Let's go ahead and deepen things up a little bit more. I'm going to take the darkest matte shade in the palette called Marquis, which is a really pretty deep, cool toned plum color. And I'm just going to kind of focus that on the outer edge of the eye as well. A little bit closer to the lash line than where I had initially applied that darker shade before. And then I'm also going to take what's left on the brush and kind of deepen up that crease a little bit more. Okay, there's 3 shimmer shades in this palette, all 3 of which look really nice. Let me see. I want to kind of swatch the 3 of them before I choose, just to see which one I want to put all over the lid. There's also 2 Super Shock shadows, one of which I am obsessed with just by looking at it. So I know I want to use one of those Super Shock shadows. Ooh, okay. I just swatched them. Look how pretty all 3 of those are. Ooh, oh my gosh. Okay. Let's see which one I want to use. Okay, I definitely feel like this one right here is what I'm gravitated toward most. All three are very pretty, but I'm obsessed with this one right here. This is called Mauve on Top or Mauve on Top. It's super, super creamy. Oh my goodness. And I'm just gonna take that and press it onto the lid. And I'm focusing that on the center of the lid. Oh my gosh, that's like one of the prettiest eyeshadows Colourpop has ever made. I'm not joking. That is so pretty. Like the dimension in this and the texture. Oh my. I am loving it. Okay, wow. I'm obsessed with that shade. I'm gonna go ahead and go into the Super Shock Shadow. And Colourpop sent me the Super Shock Shadow Duo. I'm assuming that they're sold separately as well. I'll have all the information about these products in the description box. But anyway, this is the Super Shock Shadow Duo, and it's called Mercier Bouquet, which is so cute. It comes with 2 Super Shock shadows. This one is the one I've been eyeing the most, but there is a really pretty deeper purple shade. So we have this one right here, which is called Day Trippin'. This is the one that I just know I have to use today. It's like so pretty. Oh my gosh. Look at this one. So it's like a lavender, and it has, I think I would describe that as like sky blue glitter in there. I'm really excited. And then we have Bloomer, which is this one right here. This is more of a deep mauve shade with silvery glitter in it. I'm so excited about both of these, but I definitely do feel like I'm the most excited about this one, and that's what we're going to use today. So I'm just going to take this Super Shock Shadow in Day Trippin', and I'm going to dip my finger into it. Okay, I'm already so excited. I'm going to use this to kind of create a pop of shimmer on more of the inner portion of the eye. Well, I'm focusing it there, but I am taking what's left on the finger and bringing it more toward the center as well, right on top of the shimmer shade we just applied. Oh my goodness, yes, this is such a pretty eyeshadow. Look at that. I'm already obsessed with it. That is so pretty. I'm just gonna go in with my blending brush that we were using earlier. I didn't add any more product to it. I just wanna kind of make sure that all of these edges are nice and blended out. Okay, I'm happy with how the eye looks on the top lid. So now I'm just going to clean up the fallout and the edges using a makeup wipe. And after I kind of create a little bit of a line, I'm going to use my finger to press it out so that I get that shape there, but I don't want a harsh line necessarily. My hair keeps falling out of my braid that I have. It's just a very casual day over here, so I wasn't really concerned about how my hair looked today. So sorry if that bothers you. All right, let's see here. Let's go into complexion. I want a glowy complexion today, so I'm gonna use my Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter for a Superstar Youth Glow, and I have the shade Light 2. I'm just gonna dot this around the outer portions of the skin. I like to focus it kind of on the outer portions. I do end up applying it everywhere, but I like most of it to be kind of on the high points of the face. I'm just gonna take my Real Techniques brush and blend this out. Oh, and I already did my brows off camera, if you can't tell. I used my Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in the shade 4. All right, since we are talking about Colourpop today, I thought it'd be fun for me to use the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer. I'm gonna be using the shade Light 5N. I'm just gonna apply that using the same exact Real Techniques brush. Just gonna blend it all over the skin. Oh, also, I wanted to use the new Colourpop sponges. So they sent me this before I left on my trip last week. So I thought I would use it in this video since we're talking about Colourpop. And this is their new sponge collection. They do sell each of these individually, but this is a set that they do sell as well. It's called the Full Beat Blending Sponge Kit, and it comes with a velvet sponge. So it has like microfiber on the outside, a detail sponge which just has a precision tip to it. The hourglass is shaped like an hourglass. The complexion blending sponge has a nice flat surface on the side and on the bottom with a pointy tip. And then we have the silicone blending sponge, which has a silicone core, which says that it's supposed to minimize absorption. So I thought it was kind of fun. And I like how it comes in a set. So let's see here. I kind of want to use... You know what? The silicone one is kind of intriguing me. So I'm going to go ahead and get this damp, and I will be right back. Oh my gosh. So I looked in the mirror while I was wetting my sponge, and that Super Shock shadow, you guys, looks incredible in more dim light. I don't know. Sometimes like the studio lights doesn't do the glitter on the eyes justice because I have light coming from every single angle, which is good for a lot of things. But like when you're out and about in real life or out in the sunlight, it glistens way more than it does under my studio lights. So just wanted to point out that this is so stunning underneath my bathroom light. Okay, so let's go ahead and put a bit more of the Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer on the back of my hand. I'm going to use the silicone sponge. It's not silicone on the outside, it just has like a silicone center. And I'm just going to take a little bit of the Tinted Moisturizer and I'm going to apply that all over the face, and I'm using this sponge to obviously blend out and press in the existing product on the skin. This is one of my favorite tinted moisturizers. It obviously doesn't have like tons of coverage, but it evens out the skin tone enough to where I feel like I can get away with it with more of a glam look if I use concealer all over. But it just kind of keeps the skin nice and fresh, and I also feel like it wears well on me. So anyway, it's a really great product. I'm going to go in with my Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Concealer. And again, since this is more of a glam look and since we're using mauves on the eyes, I do want to make sure that my under eye area is nice and bright, so I'm going to go ahead and apply a bit more than usual right here. Not too much, but just a little extra. I'm also just going to take this same concealer over blemishes because I'm a little bit lazy today to use more than one shade of concealer, and I like how this one looks all over the skin, so I'm just going to kind of apply that all over. Basically over anywhere that I have a little extra redness or on blemishes, which is quite a few spots today. And then I'm just going to take that same exact sponge and blend out the concealer all over the face. So far, I like this sponge. I don't know if I like it more than their original sponge that they came out with. I love the first sponge that they launched. I will link that down below as well if you're interested. This one is good as well. I'm obviously going to have to probably use it more than once to really get a feel for all of these sponges. But I think because of the silicone core, it's a little bit more stiff, and I prefer a little bit of bounce when it comes to my sponges. It's not necessarily like a deal breaker, but I'm just kind of pointing it out. Again, I'm thinking out loud. Okay, to stick with the glowy complexion theme, I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder. I just recently tried this out and I love it. So I'm going to dump some out into the cap, and then I'm going to press out any creases under the eyes, and I'm going to use that e.l.f. powder to set the under eye area, and I'm also going to use it to set the rest of the face. I just love how glowy and natural my skin looks after applying that powder. Even though I applied it all over the skin, I truly feel like the finish looks like I don't have powder on. I'm just going to take my sponge and very, very lightly press the powder into the skin a little bit more just to add to that natural skin effect. All right, let's hop back to eyes. We're going to go back into the Colourpop Making Mauves palette, Making Mauves palette, whatever it is. Okay, I'm going to take the shade Big Moves again on the same brush we used on the upper lid. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and start to blend that across the entire lower lash line. I'm going to do the same thing on this eye. And then I'm actually going to take the lightest shade, which is this one right here called R&R. And I'm wanting to use that on a clean brush. And I'm just going to take that and go a little bit underneath where I just applied that first shade and just kind of buff that out to create even more of a soft transition down into the under eye area. Ooh, I like this color a lot. I'm actually going to take it and apply it on the edges of the top as well. I almost wish I would have used this in the beginning, but oh well. I just want to create like a really, really soft, blown out kind of an effect around the entire eye. Next, I'm going to take the shade Big Fig, which is this one right here, and I'm going to take that on a little bit of a smaller brush. We actually use this with the darker shade on the top lid, but I'm just using the same brush, and I'm just going to define the outer third of that lower lash line, making sure to connect the colors up into the existing shadows on the top lid so it all looks nice and cohesive so that everything meshes well together. So pretty. Okay, next I'm going to take that same shimmer shade that we used on the top lid called Mauve on Top, and I'm just going to take that on a smaller precise brush. I'm going to try to tap off the extra, and I'm actually going to use a bit of setting spray. I'm just going to take my Colourpop Pretty Fresh setting mist and just kind of dampen the brush. I'm just trying to avoid any fallout underneath the lower lash line if I can. And I'm just going to apply this right on the center of the lower lash line. Oh my goodness, I can't even tell you guys how obsessed I am with this shade. It's so beautiful. All right, same thing on the other eye, just focusing it right in the center of that lower lash line. And now we're gonna go back into the Super Shock Shadow in the shade Day Trippin'. I'm so in love with this already. I'm gonna take this on a brush, just that same brush actually. And I'm gonna use this to kind of brighten up the inner third of that lower lash line. This is so sparkly and so beautiful. I'm kind of going overboard with it, but I don't even care. It's so nice. I'm actually going to take a bit of that and pop it in the inner corner as well. I am going to apply like a highlighter in the inner corner later just to brighten it a little bit more, but I want more of this shade all over the lid. It's just so pretty, you guys. I already knew I was going to love this one just by looking at it, and I'm happy that it's living up to my expectations. Okay, I'm going to take a fluffy brush. This is the one that we used with some of the shades along the lower lash line, and I'm just going to make sure that the edges are blended again. I'm going to go back in with my powder brush and just kind of sweep away any fallout and also kind of clean up the under eye area if I feel like it got a little bit down too far. Just going to kind of use that as a soft eraser. Okay, let's apply some mascara. I recently went to CVS and bought this. I have heard a lot of good things about it. It's from CoverGirl. It's their Exhibitionist Uncensored Mascara, and I wanted to try it in today's video. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this to the top and bottom lashes. I love the CoverGirl Exhibitionist Mascara, the original one, so I'm hoping this one's good as well. Okay, I really like that mascara. I will leave a note in the description box letting you know if the mascara smudged or flaked at all throughout the day, because that's always my #1 concern with any mascara. But it applied really nicely and I love how it looks. I'm going to go ahead and bronze up the complexion. I'm going to be using the Revlon Skin Lights bronzer or prismatic bronzer in the shade Sunlit Glow. I really just want the skin to be so extremely glowy today, and I recently tried this when I tried a bunch of new Revlon makeup and I was so stunned. If you guys want to see that video, I'll have it linked down below. I found so many good new products from Revlon. I'm so excited about this product specifically, so I wanted to use it again. It has a bit of like a golden sheen to it, so it's not a matte bronzer, just so you're aware, but it has a very, very soft glow to it. It's not sparkly in any way, so I truly feel like it helps to add just a nice glow to the skin instead of like a glittery glow. It just makes the skin look healthy, basically. So after I've kind of placed that where I want it, I'm going to go back in with my large powder brush and just blend out the edges. This helps to kind of soften things too. I tend to be pretty heavy-handed when it comes to bronzer and blush, so it's always good to kind of go back over and blend things out. Okay, I'm also going to be using the Revlon Skin Lights Prismatic Highlighter in the shade Daybreak Glimmer, and I'm just going to apply that to the high points of the face, down the center of the nose, and on the cupid's bow. And I'm also going to take my powder brush and just buff over that to soften it and to blend it out even more. You know what? I kind of want a bit of lavender on the cheekbones. I have a Colourpop highlighter that I love to use for that. So let me go grab it really quick. So this is from the Disney Designer Collection that Colourpop made, and this is called Big Tough Girl, and it's a pressed powder highlighter. It's a lavender shade, and I'm just going to use that to just kind of add a little hint of lavender into the gold. I think it's a nice highlighter to mix in with other things. Oh, and I just thought this highlighter would be so good for inner corner. So I'm just going to take a bit of that and pop it in the inner corner of the eye. Yes, 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 yes. I think that ties the eye look together so nicely. I love it. Take what's left and just pop it underneath the brows a little bit. Pretty. Okay. Let's go into the Colourpop pressed powder blushes that came in the Mauve Collection. So we have 2 shades of blushes. The first one is called Coast to Coast, and then we have Catch My Vibe. So I will open both. I'll probably layer up both. Here is what the packaging looks like. It's a nice pink mauve acrylic with pretty flowers on it. I love the packaging of this. And then look how beautiful the inside is. It has a pressed, what flower is that, you guys? That's not a daffodil, is it? I'm sure somebody out there knows what flower this is, so let me know in the comments. But here's the first shade. Again, this is Coast to Coast. And then here is Catch My Vibe. Now this is the same packaging on the outside, and then look at the inside. It's a really beautiful kind of pinky color. So here they are side by side. I feel like I'm gonna get so much use out of both of these blushes, you guys. Look at those. This one is so good, and this one adds a bit more of a pinky tone. So I am going to layer them actually. I'm so excited. Okay, we're gonna start off with Coast to Coast, which is more of that muted mauve shade. I feel like this is a perfect color for every day. So I'm just going to dip into that, and I'm going to smile and apply it more toward the back of the cheeks, I would say. I'm going to kind of blend that out. Okay, this is really pigmented. Was not expecting it to be that pigmented. So I'm just going to take my sponge and kind of press that into the skin a little bit. So pretty. Okay, and then we're going to go into Catch My Vibe, which again is that pretty pinky shade. And this is what I want more toward the apples of the cheeks. I'm going to be a little more cautious with how much I'm applying because these are very pigmented. I'm just going to kind of press that right here. And I'm going to take what's left and kind of apply it across the nose and just lightly across the forehead and a little on the chin too. And same thing, I'm just going to very, very lightly press over everything with my sponge. That's going to help the highlight sink into the skin even more as well. Things are looking good. Okay, those are really pretty. Very pigmented though, so be careful. Use a light hand. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and wipe off any foundation that got on the lips. And we have 2 of the Colourpop Luxe lip glosses. Now, I have tried this formula before, and if I'm very honest with you guys, I don't know why it doesn't work for me. It gets gloopy around the rim of my mouth. I'm hoping that these will work. I'm still going to try them. I want to love the formula, you guys. It just hasn't worked for me yet. Anyway, there are 2 shades. We have Figgy With It and Check In. The shades are so pretty, and the packaging on the unicorn is very beautiful as well. Okay, so here's Figgy With It. It's more of a deep mauve, and then we have Check In, which looks like something I would wear every single day. I really, really hope that this formula works better for me than the other ones. I don't really know. All right, let's try on Figgy With It first. And I'm just gonna focus this more on like the outer portions of the lip because I'm trying to avoid the center so it doesn't like stick together. I almost wonder if I need to let it set a little bit longer than I have in the past for it to not do that. So maybe I will let it sit for a minute. Okay, so that's the first shade called Figgy With It. It's really pretty. Let's go ahead and, oh, I guess I can't let it sit because I'm going to try the other shade on. Let's try Check In, and then I will choose a final color for this look. Does anyone else have this issue with these glosses? Is it just me? I'm really curious, like if you guys feel the same way or if I'm doing something wrong, please let me know. All right, this is Check In. And these glosses feel more like a liquid lip balm, if anything. Ooh, that's a nice color as well. So this one's definitely more sheer. Okay, that one's not really sticking too much. Maybe it just depends on the color. I don't really know. All right, so that's the second shade. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this and do a lip liner, and then we will top it with one of the glosses. So for a lip liner, I thought the NYX matte lip liner in the shade Sandstorm might look pretty with this mauve look. So I'm gonna go ahead and line and fill in the lips with this. Okay, I do really like that. I might take a tiny bit of MAC Whirl, which is a little bit of a deeper mauve tone, and I might just add that to the outer portions of the lips, just to create a tiny bit more dimension. All right, and then I'm gonna go in with the shade Check In of the Luxe lip gloss, and I'm just going to apply that all over the lips. Okay, I'm almost not feeling the lip color, so I'm gonna try something else. This happens all the time, you guys. I feel like sometimes it's hard to find a lip combo that works with the vibe of the look. I think I ultimately need something lighter. So I'm going to take the Thrive Cosmetics Lip Filler Lip Liner in the shade M. This might be too light. Okay, no, I'm not doing that one. I'm going to do the Thrive Lip Filler Lip Liner in the shade Jessie. And I'm going to just line and fill in the lips with this. I love this lip liner for situations where I don't know what lip color to use or I feel like I need a light, barely there nude color. This is my go-to. This is like as light of a lip liner as I feel like I will go because nothing else is flattering on me. But I feel like this one has just enough peach to it to where it still looks really flattering and not like powdery on my lips, which I love. Back into the shade Check In of the Luxe Gloss. I think this will be a nice combo. I'm just going to apply that right on top. Okay, yeah, I definitely really like that combo. All right, let's step back and assess the situation. Let's go ahead and blend out the bronzer a little more, blend out the blush a little more. I had the most awkward zit right here under my brow, but whatever. I'm not going anywhere today, so I don't really care. This makeup look is just for me to enjoy. Just brushing up my brows. Okay, I feel like I want a little more bronzer, so I'm just going to take what's left on the brush and add it to the edges of the hairline and a little bit more on the cheeks. Okay, my skin's looking very, very glowy. That's exactly what I was hoping for today. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and set the face. Today I'm going to use the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist, a go-to favorite of mine, of course. I'm just going to do a nice layer of that all over the skin. I'm going to fan it off a little bit, and then once that's almost dry, I always like to take my sponge and just very, very lightly press over everything one more time. And I feel like that gets rid of any powdery finish. It also just makes the skin look, I don't know, kind of like the makeup's been living there for a couple of hours, even though it's freshly applied, but in the best way. Not like expired makeup look, but just like it's warmed up into the skin. I love this trick. Okay, I'm going to take a tiny bit of my NYX HD banana powder, and I'm just going to kind of press that right here, just to kind of brighten things up a little bit more and to set things in the center of the face a bit more. I don't like the center of the face to be oily, and I do tend to get oily throughout the day, so I always like to take some sort of a powder. I typically use my Rimmel one, but it's still in my makeup bag for my trip, so this one will work for today. Okay, and then I'm going to use my Glossier Boy Brow. This is just the clear one, and I'm going to run that through the brows to set those. Alright you guys, so that completes today's makeup look. I hope you enjoyed it. I loved this collection. I feel like it's probably my favorite since the Coconut collection launched. Colourpop always releases things that I really enjoy, but this definitely is a collection that I feel like I'm going to get a ton of use out of. The palette was beautiful. I love the look that I created. I would recommend this palette, honestly, based off of just this one right here. This shimmer shade is so stunning, and I can't wait to keep using this. I feel like this would be a great palette to travel with. It is more cool toned, and I feel like if you're somebody who is used to warm tones and you want to dabble into some cool tones, this would be a great place to start because, you know, it's affordable, it's such high quality, it's beautiful. I really love this. I also was so obsessed with this Super Shock shadow in the shade Day Trippin'. I know I didn't try the other one, which maybe I should swatch it for you guys and for myself. So I'll swatch Bloomer right now so we can see all together what this looks like. Okay, so here is Bloomer swatched. Such a pretty shade. I will swatch Day Trippin' next to it just so you can see the difference. So that one definitely has more of a light lavender base to it. But there are the two Super Shock shadows next to each other. This one, in my opinion, is just next level. It's something that I feel like I will apply on top of every single eye look that I do. I'm super excited about that one. The blushes were beautiful as well. They were more pigmented than I anticipated, which is not a bad thing, but just something to keep in mind. And then the Luxe glosses, I feel like as they sit for a little while, it doesn't do that sticky thing as much. A little bit. Maybe I just need to let it kind of set into the lips a little more. Maybe it won't do that. I don't really know. Regardless, the shades are really pretty, but I just don't know about that formula altogether for me. I don't know why. I'm going to keep playing with it and I will keep you guys posted, but yeah, for some reason that Luxe gloss formula just like gloops on the corners of my mouth and I don't know why. But anyway, I definitely would recommend this collection. It speaks to my whole soul. I loved the palette, and I guess if there was anything that I would say you must pick up, it would be the palette if you feel like you would use it. But if anything, it's this, you guys. Like, this would be something you could incorporate into your routine when you just want that beautiful ethereal lavender vibe on the eyes, which I'm all about. So yeah, that's everything. Thanks to Colourpop for sending me this collection. I'm super excited about it. I will have everything listed and linked down below. Oh, I forgot to mention in the beginning, I do have a code with Colourpop. You can just use the code Allie at checkout and you'll get 10% off. That code is affiliate, so I do get a small portion of the sales back, but just wanted to let you guys know if you want to save a bit of money, just use the code Allie at checkout. Well, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you ended up picking anything up from this collection. I want to hear your thoughts about it. Are you guys into these colors as much as I am? I would love to know. I feel like so many people are into warm tones, and I definitely used to be that way, but I am so much more a cool tone purple kind of person these days, as you guys know. So I would love to know if you guys are enjoying this collection as much as I did today. If you're new here, hi, my name is Allie, and I would love for you to join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button. And if you're already a subscriber but you want to be notified on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, click on the bell after you subscribe and you'll get a notification every single time I post. I hope you guys have an amazing day wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye!